All right, we are going to do this one called equations of circles. So today you will be able to write the equation of circle and actually, let's say from an equation, find the center and the radius of a circle. Wow. So first off, let's look at this. Keep in mind that when you look at a circle, and we're talking about from like a coordinate plane. Okay, if I start off at the origin, all the points would be, say, equal distance. That's kind of the point of a circle. Okay, so that would be like the radius. And in the most basic form, you could just say the equation of a circle is x squared plus y squared equals the radius squared. That is the most basic form. And this becomes important because this is something you could see in like pre-cal and stuff like that. But that's only at the origin. So what happens if it's not at the origin? Well, we have what is called a standard form for this equation. And this is going to be the important one. The standard form of the equation says if you have a center, and we're going to use the letters h and k, and you have a radius that is r, then x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to the radius squared. That is your standard form equation. So, how does that work? Well, what if I give you a center at 1, -8 with a radius of 7? Okay, so what I would do is this. You go like parentheses x minus parentheses y minus, put a little squared on both of those, and then let's put a little space here. Now, x goes with x, y goes with y, radius goes at the end. So, 1, -8, and 7. Now notice here how that minus a -8 is going to become positive 8, and 7 squared is 49, and there's your answer. That's your equation. Now, again, notice how this one that was positive is showing as a minus here, but the one that was negative is showing up as a positive or a plus. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind. I always think in the parentheses, think opposite. So whatever sign you normally have, once you put it in parentheses, it has an opposite sign. Okay, what happens if I give you something like this? Well, where's the center? The center is at 0, 4, and the radius is how far away? From 0, 4, I can count up 3, so I'm 3 spots away. I would count up either straight up, straight down, straight across. One or the other, okay? Don't try to go diagonally. That will mess you up. So here I have x minus 0, y minus 4, and 3 squared. X minus 0 is just x squared. I mean, if you left it as x minus 0 squared, I would not count off. Y minus 4 squared, and 3 squared is 9. So your center is at 0, 4, and your radius was, again, 3. Another example, different example. What happens if I give you a center with a diameter instead of a radius? Well, again, you can start setting up as normal, but keep in mind that you need to get the radius. And how do I get the radius? If I get the diameter, cut it in half, divide by 2. So the radius was 4. So then this one should be x minus 4 plus y plus 1 squared equals 16. And there you go. Simple stuff, but again, if you understand these concepts, it becomes a bigger theme later on. Alright, what happens, or can you give me what is the center and the radius if I give you the equation? So let's start off with something easy. Okay, so in this one, I have x minus 5 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 36. So, as we see here, we have this formula, or this equation, x minus 5 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 36. Well, so I know obviously it's going to be, like, you can go bring those numbers down. That's straightforward. Just keep in mind that if you see minus 5, like x minus 5, when it comes in, it's going to be, for the center, it's going to be the opposite of like a minus 5. So, positive 5, positive 3, and then to find the radius, keep in mind that the number that you see there that it's equal to is the square of that. So if we take the square root, then we would get that answer. So that would be the radius is equal to 6. Now, let's set that up. So that one's easy. What happens if you get something like this? X squared plus y squared equals minus 8x plus, I can't even read, 2y equals, like that. Okay, equals -8. I'm going to start here first is I'm going to separate the x's and the y's. Okay, so notice how I've got like x squared minus 8x with a space y squared plus 2y with a space. I'm going to put plus after those. So you'll always go like x squared plus or minus some x, space, plus y squared plus or minus some y. Okay? Then from there, what you're going to do is set it equal to negative 8. Put those in parentheses. Under those, go ahead and put x squared, y squared. Like you're going to put space. Don't even put signs yet. Okay, so this is how this works. And this is what I do for something called completing the square, which you're going to have to do in Algebra 2. So this is very important. It's very easy. You're going to divide that 8, that number that's in front of the x, by 2. So 8 divided by 2, negative 8 divided by 2 actually, gives you minus 4. Then you're going to square that and put it back up there in that space. So 4 squared is 16. It will always be a positive number, so keep that in mind. That number after the x will always be positive. Okay, then from there, you're going to do the same thing for the y. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Oh, I'm going to add that on the other side too. And then 1 squared is 1. Make sure you add both those numbers that you put in each parentheses to the other side. And again, those will also be positive. They will never be anything different. So you're going to say negative 8 plus 16 plus 1. And that gives you 9. So now you have like your equation. It's right there. You have x squared, or x minus 4 squared, plus y plus 1 squared equals 9. There's your equation. You're done. Okay? Now from there, you could easily find the center and the radius because you've got the center is at 4, negative 1. Remember, keep in mind opposite signs. And then the radius is obviously the square root of 9, which is 3. So there you go. Fairly easy. Let's look at another example of that, okay? And keep in mind, if you understand this concept, this will make things so much easier when we talk about stuff like this in Algebra 2. And I say we as in like I'm going to get to teach the class. We'll see. Anyways, so here's another one. Notice how I'm setting everything up, putting the y's together, putting the x's together, and I got that negative 40 at the end. Okay? X squared, y squared. I have no idea why I put y squared, y squared. Let's get rid of that y. Okay. So from there, again, divide by 2. So I'm going to divide the positive 8 by 2. So that's 4, and 4 add 4 squared is 16. Divide the negative 14 by 2, and I get negative 7. That's 49. And I would add 16 and 49 to the other side, which should give me 25. There's my equation with a center at negative 4, positive 7. Again, think opposites. And a radius of 5. So that's really about as hard as that gets. Fairly simple, right? That's it for today. And hopefully y'all will make sure y'all get this. Y'all take care. Thank you.